hiding. Doc is my special friend. We only talk on phone. We hardly see each other in person, but welcome.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thanks
for having me.
You're welcome. And, you know, my studio audience are very young, very energetic, and, you know, one at home.
You lower arm.
So young studio audience, maybe this topic doesn't concern them. You should have brought older people because they are experiencing menopause. But do you agree with this?
Okay, so once again, thank you very much for having me. It's always a privilege to be on Joy Prime. And then to our studio audience, good afternoon to you. So yes, when it comes to health, being a family physician, we understand that there are several contexts of health. So it's not just the individual who is sick, but as a result of ill health or any other condition, as we will find later, it has an impact on those around them.
Right.
So imagine you have a mother who has malaria and has to be admitted. Many a time working in the polyclinic at Kolebu, you have a mother say, if you admit me, nobody takes care of my children. So I believe the age of this audience is actually appropriate because they may have mothers, aunties, or sisters who at a certain point in their lives would go through menopause.
Right.
And they need to appreciate some changes that will take place and helps them prepare better. So actually, I understand why this audience is of this age.
Wow. So, my audience, this is why you had to be here today. Now, if you're home, you can be a part of the conversation too. Don't forget to send in your messages to us on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. We are taking a look at menopause. Now, the things to do around menopause. If you're home and you're confused with the word menopause, you're wondering what menopause really is, don't worry. Dr. Parry will answer that. So what is menopause? Okay,
so before I start off defining, I'd like to say that the female reproductive system is made up of the ovaries, the fallopian tube, the uterus, and then the external genitalia. And each part of this or each organ has a role to play. Right. So the ovaries fundamentally are for production of what we call eggs or the ovum for fertilization. The fallopian tube, as we can see on the screen, serves as a conduit or a channel to transport the eggs and in some cases, the fertilized egg. And then it goes down to the uterus, which we call the womb in normal language, yes. And then that is where the implantation or the fetus will stay through our pregnancy. Okay. Another very crucial role of the ovary is the production of the hormones estrogen and then progesterone. So estrogen is essentially responsible for the feminine characteristics such as development of the breast and other parts of the body as well. Progesterone is mainly to maintain pregnancy. Okay. And so when we say menopause, to start with, it is not a disease. Okay. It is one, a natural, two, permanent cessation of regular menstrual period for consecutive months. Minimum is 12 months. So the take-home message for my audience is one, usually it's natural. Okay. Two, it is permanent. And the cessation of this menstrual cycle should be at least 12 months or more. Okay. I would explain later that there are other forms of menopause or causes of menopause, which is not natural, but you would have to classify it as either surgical menopause, in which case you would have a woman who has maybe a condition that would require that their ovaries are taken out. And that's why I made a very firm foundation introducing the point that the ovaries are the organs responsible for the production of the female hormones. So if for any reason there is a natural decline in the hormones that is being produced by the ovaries, or the ovaries themselves are taken out because of treatment due to cancer or taken out because of other conditions, then obviously the level of estrogen will be reduced. Wow, yeah. Wow.
Guys, I know that you have a lot of questions. Get your questions ready in your mind. When it's time for me to come to you, I'll come to you, and make sure you are very attentive to this one because they're very, very important. I'm learning a lot, you know. So you did mention that there's surgical menopause. How does that one work?
So like I explained, so for instance, if for any reason a lady in their reproductive age would have a condition, maybe a tumor or a cancer, that is diagnosed and the risk of spread is quite high. Instead of waiting for the cancer to spread, in some cases, a surgical procedure which is called oophorectomy.
Like a cervical cancer or something?
Yes, or it could be an ovarian cancer in itself. Okay. It could be a cervical cancer that may have spread to the ovaries. Okay. In some cases, you may have a lady who has maybe one ovary or a fallopian tube taken out, especially when you have ectopic pregnancy. So in that case, you have one ovary. So if the other ovary is also affected, either to a tumor that is directly affecting the ovary or cervical cancer spreading to that ovary, and that ovary is also taken out, then it means that at that point there is a cessation or a gradual decline in the level of estrogen. So that's more of the surgical part. Sometimes so it doesn't have to go through surgery. You may have people who have other conditions, like you mentioned, they have endometrial cancer or cancer that affects the womb, and then they undergo certain treatment, not every treatment, but certain treatment would now affect the capacity of the ovaries to produce as much hormones as they should. So those fall under surgical or medical treatment leading to menopause. But usually, for those who don't have to go through that, there will still be a point where there's total cessation of the regular menstrual cycle.
And that point is when you are in your 50s. That's what we're told
So,
when we're young.
yes, well, I mean, yes, you would say about 50 years. Generally, the range is between 40 and about 56.
Okay.
Because there's no absolute in medicine. So you'd have people who are maybe still 54 and having it every now and then. And so, and remember the criteria that we give for the definition. It has to be consecutive months for 12 consecutive months.
Okay.
So if it's maybe on and off for 6 months, then that's not a total cessation. Okay. It has to be consecutive for 12 months. So there are people who may grow up to about 56 before they reach that, they fulfill that whole criteria. Oh, right. But averagely, research that was conducted in Ghana, which is comparable to that conducted in Nigeria, is that the average age, we don't usually want to say average, but the median age, because you're not just adding the ages together, like the group where people usually will have menopause in Ghana is about 48 years, which is comparable to what is in Nigeria, which was done in Ghana. The study was done in Akosombo among a cohort of women. In Nigeria, it was done in the Yoruba group, and it was also comparable, about 48 years. It is worth noting that in the US of A, their median age is about 51. There's no specific explanation to that one, but it appears that generally Africans and blacks tend to have menopause earlier than they do outside. And additionally, I think what you said in the introduction is right. So we also, apart from the average age being earlier, because we have a range of between 40 to 56, but our median age is about 48. Generally, there's what we call the premature menopause, and I think you made mention of it, of women who are maybe 35 or even younger than 40 who have it. Amongst the population, comparable studies show that if you pick the people of African descent, we have about 3.7% of our population having to undergo premature menopause. Whereas if you pick the Hispanics, that's about 1.7%, and people who are of the white, like US, they were doing about 1.1%.
Why is this so? Is it because of the food we eat? So, is it our climate?
Yeah,
what is it?
It's not specific, but one of the factors that they picked up from is what you mentioned, genetics. It cannot be explained that if you have this particular gene, it means that you would have your early menopause. But genetics is one particular factor that came out, because you could tell that of the three races, blacks had a higher proportion, 3.7, then followed by the Hispanics, which are about 1.1 or 1.7, and then 1.7, and then now people from the US who are indigenous, they're about 1.1. So genetics plays a vital role. But in addition to that, there are other things that are modifiable, like smoking. Smoking has been seen to be one risk factor that precipitates early menopause. But it doesn't mean everybody who undergoes early menopause has been smoking, because it's very easy for people to say, hey, I heard the doctor say this. No, but smoking is one thing that can precipitate premature menopause. The last but not the least is the overweight. Being overweight or obesity is one particular factor that has been associated with early menopause. But it is not a cause.
It's not a cause. And what about PCOS?
Yes, so PCOS is a medical condition on its own, which is characterized by a lot more follicles on the ovaries. And the main thing it has to do with that these people would have irregular menstrual period. So they may have irregular menstrual period, but as long as it's not up to 12 months, we don't count it to be menopause.
But do they stand a chance of experiencing early menopause? Because
I am not aware of that. I would have to confirm. But generally, we know that people with PCOS tend to have irregular menstrual cycle. And so I'm not too sure whether a study has been done to ascertain whether those who do not have PCOS tend to have maybe a later age compared to those with PCOS. Yes.
What about the foods that we eat? Can that also affect?
Yes, so those are what we call risk factors. Risk factors are either maybe an exposure or characteristics or attributes that make an individual or a group more predisposed to having a particular condition or the other. It's difficult to bring what we call causality, to say that a particular food, when eaten or avoided, would lead to menopause. But we know, generally, African descent, women who smoke, obese women, and then some lifestyle about food, but we cannot be specific in terms of which kind of food would lead to early menopause or otherwise. Yes.
Right. What about the symptoms? What are we to look out for to know that I'm experiencing, like you said, the 12 months we have noted down. But aside the 12 months, are there any other symptoms you have to look out for?
So there are three broad categories of symptoms. The first category is what we call the vasomotor symptoms. I'll explain.
Yes,
so vasomotor symptoms. And then the next one, you have what we call the genitourinary symptoms. And then the last but not the least is the psychogenic symptoms. So vasomotor, vaso means vessel, V-A-S-O.
Okay.
And then the motor is the motor we see. So you are looking at the dynamics of the blood vessels. And these symptoms are usually characterized by what we call hot flashes. So sudden onset of heat, usually common in the face, around the neck, around the chest. And it can last for about 4 minutes, and it's very, very uncomfortable.
Wow.
In fact, the study that found out that the median age is about 48 years in Ghana also found out that it is one of the most troubling symptoms among women across board. Studies outside generally puts it around 75% of all women who are undergoing menopause. And it's
So
quite
you call
disturbing.
the hot flashes.
The hot flashes. So it is sudden, intense sensation of heat around the face, around the neck, and around the chest. And imagine you having three of these spells whilst you are sleeping. It interrupts with your sleep, so it is very uncomfortable. In some other women, it's not just the flashes, but it's also characterized by migraine. So sometimes menopause can bring migraine, but people may already have migraine. But for those who do, it can be aggravated during menopause.
Okay.
The other symptom is that they may feel dizzy or generally weak. So these come under the vasomotor. The next category of symptoms is called the genitourinary.
Before you go into that, now these are the symptoms that we look out for.
Yes.
Do they last till you go, like, you know, you die, or they last for just a short period?
Okay, so specifically about the most troubling symptom, which is the hot flashes. Again, for one reason or the other, research has suggested that Africans tend to have it for a longer period than people of the white race. So averagely, you would have about 85% of black women who are in their menopausal period have this particular hot flashes go on from at least 1 to 10 years.
Wow.
1 to 10 years, compared to those of white descent, which is about 6.5 years. So there could be a point where it will end. But we have to note, and I should have said this early on, that when it comes to menopause specifically, there are individual variability. Okay. So there's not one fits all, and you always want to make sure that you keep in the range, because if you just say it's going to last for 1 year, somebody say, oh, my mine has lasted for 2 years, then it's not normal.
Right.
So you are trying to look at the shortest time possible, and then the longest time possible. And all put together, it seems that we of African descent tend to have a longer duration of the hot flashes as compared to those of the white descent. So averagely it's about 10 years.
Okay.
Specifically talking about the hot flashes.
All right.
The migraine may not last as long. It's quite episodic, just like the dizziness and then the sweating.
Okay. What about those who go through, you know, so there are people who go through fibroid surgery and they decide to take out their womb. They too, will they experience these symptoms? Good.
So the main thing about the menopausal symptoms is that it's not just the absence or the cessation of the menstrual period. The actual fundamental thing is that the ovaries are now not producing as much hormones as it used to produce.
Okay.
And as a result of that, you have a cessation of the menstrual period. So you are trying to work backward. The ovaries do two primary functions. One, to produce the hormones, that is the estrogen and then the progesterone, and two, to produce the eggs. So as you age and this function of the ovary declines, then automatically the cessation of menstrual period will happen. But if somebody for any reason has to undergo fibroid surgery, there are two main types of fibroid surgery. There's what we call the myomectomy, in which case the fibroid nodules themselves are taken out and the whole uterus is kept. And so in such people, they may still have their period. But if the whole uterus is taken out, which is called hysterectomy or total hysterectomy, in that case, there's a cessation of the menstrual period. But the good thing is that in those patients, they still have their ovaries intact.
Okay.
So even though they may not be having their period and they may satisfy the criteria of cessation of menstrual period for more than 12 months, they may not suffer the same symptoms as somebody who has a total decline of the ovarian function.
Okay.
So yes, there's a cessation of the menstrual cycle, but because the ovaries are intact and they are still producing the estrogen, they will not have specifically symptoms like the hot flashes as much as another person who has actually recorded a steep decline of this hormone.
But such people, if they get to menopausal stage, how will they know they are at menopausal
Yes, so
stage?
for somebody who has undergone that surgery, ideally, the diagnosis of menopause is clinical, which means that you don't need laboratory tests to make this diagnosis.
Okay.
It's just by hitting the criteria, like you said, cessation for 12 months, and also plus these other symptoms, the vasomotor, genitourinary, and psychogenic. If somebody, for any reason, has undergone a surgery which involves the removal of the whole uterus, total hysterectomy, in the first few weeks, one of the hormones will still remain elevated. So you are giving yourself up to about 6 weeks to 6 months. If you test the hormone called FSH, or the follicular stimulating hormone, and it's less than 30, then it suggests that, if it's more than 30, then it suggests that the patient is in that phase where the hormone is low. So the two hormones that we test for in patients who have undergone hysterectomy, remember, it is not immediately after the surgery, because immediately after the surgery, there is some variability for your body to compensate.
Right.
So you are looking at about maybe 6 weeks or so, between 6 weeks and 6 months after the surgery. If we test the follicular stimulating hormone and it's more than 30, or what we call the estrogen or the estradiol, and it's less than 20, we can put those two together, coupled with the fact that the uterus has been taken out, and make a diagnosis of menopause.
Okay.
But we don't rely on these two, because clinically you can listen to what the patient is saying and then arrive at the same diagnosis.
All right. Now, the second type of symptom.
Yes, that is the genitourinary. So genital has to do with the genital tract and urinary. So when a woman enters menopause, one of the first things that will happen is that they may have difficulty in terms of the ability to control their urine. They tend to pass urine a bit more frequently.
Okay.
And also they have complaint of dryness in their external genitalia. So if these women are having sex with their partners around that time, they may complain of pain, because there's what we call vaginal atrophy, or so atrophic vaginitis, which just means that there's a thinning of the lining in that area. And so there's a lot of friction and inflammation. So that's one aspect. The last has to do with psychogenic symptoms.
For such people, they need baby oil.
And really, baby oil, baby oil is lubrication. But maybe we'll talk about treatment. The treatment is actually hormonal.
Okay.
The hormonal therapy, specifically for when people who have that issue with the lubrication because of the dryness. But then you don't give it to everybody. It is on an individualized basis, because not everybody will have that symptom, and not everybody will even experience pain during sex, which we call dyspareunia. So when we talk about treatment much later in the discussion, we would identify that you don't have a wholesale treatment for all women and say that every woman who has is in a menopause should come for A, B, C, D. But if a woman has particular symptoms, specifically the vasomotor symptoms, and it is disturbing them. By disturbing, it means that it's affecting their function, because, for instance, if you are a young woman who hit your menopause around maybe 50, and you are working on your own, or you work,
35.
or even 35, you still, life has to go on, and you are going to work and realize that the hot flashes is disturbing your quality of life. Then you need treatment, because at that point, it's not just a mere symptom. And that's one other take-home message that I hope our guest here will take. That, our in-studio guest, that when people have menopause and they complain of symptoms, the explanation of menopause does not suit their symptoms. So, somebody is about 50 or even 35, like you're saying, and then they are diagnosed of menopause, and say, oh, you are having these symptoms because of menopause. It's not good enough. They need to see a doctor, because knowing the cause to be menopause does not erase or mitigate the symptoms in itself. So the people will have to come to the hospital, and treatment given for the specific concerns that they have to improve their quality of life and general well-being.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. People get diagnosed and they don't go to the hospital. Oh, me wa menopause who wrote me. And we hear that a lot from our mothers and our aunties and our grandmothers.
We know it's not a disease. It's like pregnancy. Pregnancy is not a disease state. But while you are pregnant, if you are vomiting, because of the pregnancy, if there's loss of appetite because of the pregnancy, if there is general weakness because of the pregnancy, you don't sit down and say, I am pregnant, and so I am vomiting. Vomiting is expected in pregnancy, but excessive vomiting, which leads to weakness, needs to be treated medically.
That's it.
So we need to distinguish between the two, that having menopause does not mean symptoms should be discarded and then just left on their own.
Now the third symptom.
The third one is what we call the psychogenic.
Okay.
So it is characterized mainly by anger, irritability, sometimes depression.
Martin.
Tension. But I must be quick to add that even though it happens in menopause, menopause is not the only reason why people may be angry, depressed, or anxious. So again, back to what I just said, you don't say, oh, don't forget mommy, forget grandma, she's in a menopause, that's why she's always angry. Because she's in a menopause, that's why she's always anxious. In fact, there is treatment for the anxiety.
Oh, really?
There is treatment for the depression, there is treatment for the irritability, because it's the same medication that we use. So the fact that you have menopause doesn't mean you should continue being irritable, anxious, angry, depressed. If these are things that are found in your menopausal phase, you have to seek treatment.
Wow, so there's treatments for it?
There's treatment for each symptom.
You're watching me. You're watching, I know.
There's treatment for every segment or every symptom of this phase, but that's why I say it has to be tailored towards the individual, because you can't give treatment for everybody in menopause. Right. People may have more psychogenic symptoms than the vasomotor. The other people who may not have as many vasomotor symptoms. So generally, when that phase arrives, like we're having this discussion, that's why it's so important for our viewers watching us. If this diagnosis has been made and you think that you are having these symptoms, any of these symptoms, and it is troublesome, it is not normal, you have to go to the hospital, because there is treatment. Even if it's not medication, especially like you said, the hot flashes, there are things to be taught that you can do to make you feel a bit cool than always having to disrupt, and then disturbing your sleep. And it's a vicious cycle. So you start off by having the hot flashes, you don't sleep well, you're already maybe angry, you're anxious, and then in the morning people come your way. So you try and make life more comfortable for.
Are there any physical changes that you?
So in the early phase of menopause, usually you would have weight gain. And for me, one other thing that is also worthy of note is that because estrogen, which is the female hormone, contributes to bone density, and there's a decline in this hormone, the risk of falls is high. So when somebody is in their menopause, you want to also be conscious and ask whether they have fallen recently, or they've seen that their general, what we call their gait is unstable, so that you put in measures to supplement, in some cases, give them some supplements like calcium or other medications that I can't call on air, because people would quickly go and fetch it. So yes, there are some changes, mainly the weight gain in the early phase of menopause. Research has suggested, so because of menopause, people have an increment of about 2 kilograms in the early phase of menopause.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So, studio audience, anybody has a question? Okay, I see a hand up. Please pass the microphone to him. So 2 hands already. 3. Okay. So Martin is my co-producer. He's here, and he's saying that he now knows why he's gaining weight. So I don't know if that's to menopause. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I have 2 questions to ask.
Okay.
With the first one is, we have been hearing that menopause stage can lead one to hay fever, and which can also lead to madness. I want to know how true that is. And then the second question is, can menopause prevent or stop someone or conceiving a baby?
Okay. So let me start off with the second question about conceiving a baby when you are diagnosed with menopause. So menopause happens within 40 to 56 years, depending on the individual. If you are, but the median age is around 48. If your menopause occurs around 50 or 55, that means that you still potentially can have a baby, because your ovaries are still producing the hormones, and they are most likely producing the ovum or the eggs, which can be fertilized.
Right.
And so in that respect, it is possible. But knowing the average age, if somebody hits 50 and they've ceased menstruation for more than 12 months, in that particular individual, then it is unlikely, unless they want to do what we call surrogacy, and then either
so if you are in your 40s and you hit menopause, or you are diagnosed with menopause, there's a possibility.
It is very, very, very slim, because when a young girl or when a female baby is born, they have about 1 million eggs. Though immature. By the time they hit puberty, they have about 300,000 to 500,000. By the time you hit menopause, they're about 1,000.
So it would have reduced. The
would have reduced, and not just
aged.
the amount. Just as when a baby girl is born, it's immature. Now, when you are much older and you are hitting menopause, the quality of the eggs are reduced, and the amount or the number, like you said, comparing 1 million to 300,000 and 2,000. So in medicine, you never say never. You never say never, but you would have to know that this is the risk. But above all, people are different. So you can have somebody who is 56 or 55 and still having their period. And that is possible. But we know in Ghana that the average age is about 48.
But what if the period has ceased?
If that has ceased, then that is difficult.
That is difficult.
Medically, I must say. But there are other things like surrogacy. If you can pick a particular ovum from the mother and say that this egg is of good quality, or you pick maybe a couple of them, and then it is fertilized with another person, that's possible. So medicine is evolving. They don't have to carry the baby themselves to be able to become the mother. Some would prefer to pick maybe the eggs and then have a surrogate mother or otherwise. So yes, medicine is evolving. So yes, somebody can still become a mother, but maybe not through what we all know as carrying their pregnancy, because they have to.
What about the second one, saying that can it lead to mental illness?
You know, menopause happens with aging, and around 40 years, 48 years, you are growing and these things happen. The symptoms that are psychogenic are typically anxiety, depression, irritability, anger. But if somebody, what we usually call mad, is maybe when they have delusions or hallucination. Delusion is when an individual has a firm belief in the context of contrary evidence. So you say that maybe I am the host. I'm the host of this show. And everybody knows that fairly you are the host. And you are rocking it like no one's business. Like you are into this, fine. That is delusion. Hallucination is when you either have a perception that is not real. It could be sound, it could be audible, auditory or visual. So if somebody has either a delusion, a firm belief, or a sense, a visual or an auditory sensation that something is there whilst it's not there, that is actually not menopause. That could be another mental health diagnosis. It could be any other thing. It could be schizophrenia. And remember, as you are aging, the risk of dementia is higher. It doesn't mean everybody who is aging will have dementia. But with dementia, you have issues like inability to recall or difficulty recalling, sometimes difficulty identifying stuff. And that is not menopause. That is another medical condition. And that is why it is even more important for people who are seen to have menopause to come to the hospital, because you could be dealing with somebody who has menopause and another medical condition. And we rather put the mask of menopause on that person and say, let the person stay at home, which is not actually helpful.
Okay, next question.
Okay, my name is Parasite, and I want to ask this question. We growing up, we had a lot of misconception about menopause. We subject people even talking our parents, maybe our mothers and our grandmothers, when they are talking in the house, we subject it to menopause. Oh, my mom menopause into no casa baby, you know, and this have made a lot of kids not listen to their parents. I want to know if it is medically proved that somebody who has menopause is supposed to talk plenty.
Okay, I cannot answer yes or no, but I know during menopause, there are generally some people will become irritable.
I'm laughing because...
And out of the irritability, they may or may not be talking a lot more.
Okay.
But if you think it's disturbing, then you have to speak to them to come to the hospital.
Okay.
Because it may well be that there are other causes and it's not menopause. But I can understand. Generally...
one of the symptoms is that
anger, irritability. But just pinning it down, what we don't want to happen is that people pinning down the condition to just menopause, because it could be something else. And the solace is that there is treatment if it is not actually menopause or is something else that can be treated. So yes, I mean, they get a bit irritable and then it looks as though they are exaggerating, but what can you do about it? You have to bring them.
Okay, yes.
Hi, Roslyn.
Hi.
Dr. Ernest, you made mention of premature menopause. Can it be cured permanently? One. And two, because we've witnessed patients suffering from menopause receiving so many medications, yet still it continues? Can it be cured permanently, or is it just to reduce some certain things that it comes with?
Okay, so let me answer the second question. The medications that are given are not wholesale, it is individualized. So depending on the severity of your symptoms and the specificity of your symptoms. So for instance, if somebody has more psychogenic symptoms, they are irritable, they are angry, they are depressed, they won't need the same medication as somebody who gets more disturbed by the hot flashes, headache, and migraine. These medications nonetheless, especially the vasomotor, because that's the more common and troubling, the medications we give are supposed to reduce the severity of the symptoms and not take the symptoms away. But the symptoms themselves, averagely, it takes about 1 to 10 years, specifically for the hot flashes, even without medication, to go. But other complications like reduction in the bone density and the risk of falls and all of that will not be taken away as a result of taking the medication.
Which one is the bone density?
So, like, I brought an image about osteoporosis. So when you have the estrogen, which is produced by the ovary, helps in improving the density of the bone, which reduces the risk of falls. So you see that the picture on our screen, the first one is healthy bone. As osteoporosis happens, you realize that there is more what we call resorption of the bone. So the bone is like, it's becoming thinner and not as strong, and so the risk of falls is higher. So when somebody gets to menopause, one of the things that can be given, the supplements, sometimes calcium, depending on the situation. And before you give those medications, you want to maybe sometimes screen to be sure whether this person has the menopause or not. So the second question about the premature menopause, you cannot stop menopause in itself. We don't even know how somebody would arrive at menopause at 35, another at 40. So when it happens, unfortunately, it has happened. But what you can do is to make the symptoms more bearable and make the person as functional as possible. Yes.
So when you have menopause, you can actually get the severe osteoporosis.
That's one
of the symptoms.
One of the, not just symptoms, one of the severe complications. Because if you have severe osteoporosis, and that's what we call non-contact fracture. So you'd have an old lady, she didn't fall, she's in a bed, and then all of a sudden she can't move. And you would think, oh, it's just joint pain. But sometimes you take an X-ray, and then there's a fracture, which you call pathological fracture.
And it's coming from menopause?
It is coming because there's a decline in the estrogen.
Wow.
Yes, so it's important. And one other key thing.
And men don't go through this?
Men will, but the testosterone doesn't decline as quickly as compared to what women will face as a result of the decline in the estrogen. So it's a big risk. Men can suffer osteoporosis. In fact, some men suffer osteoporosis, but it is more common in women than in men. And let me quickly add that another very severe complication of menopause is that, not complication, but risk that we have to know. For a woman who has gone through menopause, diagnosed, or maybe not even diagnosed, but there's a continuous cessation of menstrual period for more than 12 months. If you ever have a menstrual cycle at any point after a cessation of your menopause, it calls for medical attention. Why? Because it could be a sign of something that is going on in the uterus, which could be from a tumor or something else, or it could be from cervical cancer. So please, if you've hit menopause and there is any menstrual cycle, remember, you've crossed the 12 months threshold, it's permanent, the other symptoms, and all of a sudden, you realize that you are bleeding without any contact. Please, don't think that it is one of those things. It is never one of those things when there is
not a miracle.
No. What they call postmenopausal bleed is not something that should be taken lightly. It always has to be investigated.
Wow.
It is better to investigate and the doctor will say, oh, we've checked the uterus, is fine, we've checked the cervix, is fine, rather than say, oh, it's just one of those things.
There's one last question, but before we take the question, Lord Shola Adeyemi is here. Hey, you look so nice. Okay, so I don't know. We'll bring you back in, but I have what anybody. Okay, hey, today the questions are a lot too. Okay, yes.
Doctor, you made mention of the ovary, the cervix, the hymen. Can the inability of these parts performed cause menopause?
The inability, sorry, pardon me.
The inability of these parts functioning very well,
yes,
can it cause menopause?
So the only part that can cause menopause is the ovaries, when the ovaries have a decline in function. Yes, please.
Okay, so please pass the microphone. Okay, please ask. Because of time, so we have to.
Okay, so I was asking about the dementia.
Yes.
So I was asking, can it lead to dementia? If probably.
No, menopause cannot lead to dementia. There are two different diagnoses.
Okay, one last question, please.
I am Mimi. My question is on the emergency pills that we, the ladies, we take. Sometimes it can lead to we having irregular menstrual flow.
Cycle, yeah.
And I've had a situation whereby my friend couldn't have her menstrual flow for about 2 months, getting to 3 months, but then she had it because she wasn't pregnant. So I want to ask, can all this lead to early menopause?
My dear, are you sure it's not you that took them?
No, please.
Yeah, so that's one key thing that maybe not directly about menopause, but we don't encourage taking emergency contraceptive on a regular basis. If you are a woman and you have to take emergency contraceptive pills on a regular basis, then it means that you need proper family planning and not emergency contraceptive.
Okay.
It not only does it disrupt your cycle, but it has other consequences. There is an increased risk of what we call blood clots in your veins. So we don't encourage women taking this as their normal family planning method.
Wait, so it can cause blood clots?
Yes. There's an increased risk if it's abused. Of course, people may use it once, but for somebody who always has an emergency twice, thrice in a month for all year, it is not the good thing.
Please
because
stop.
There's increased risk of blood clots.
Okay. Shola, I think we have some messages.
That.
You look lovely, though. You look
Stop it. You know that it's the ladies' month. I call it ladies' month because of the pinking.
Pink.
Yeah, we're pinking
Yeah.
today. So social media really has reacted to what's happening in here. So we'll take a few of the comments. This one says that is sweating a sign of menopause? Michelle from Achimota is the one who wants to know. This one says, is it possible for a woman in her late 20s to get menopause? This is Letitia from Dome. My mom is 38 and has menopause. How do I help her out? Malachi from Kwabena wants to know. This one says, I heard the main form of menopause is andropause. Is it true? This is Junior from Kumasi. And this one says, do men get menopause? Because I'm very sure my father has some. Is there a cure? Because this is Lami from Ho. More. This one says that, hello, Dr. Ernest and Rosalind. My cousin was diagnosed with lupus, and one night she had a blood flow coming in clot. And after that day, she's never had her period yet, hasn't been diagnosed with it, but can't produce babies. My question is that menopause? This one says that, at what age does menopause start? So, doctor, those are your questions.
Quite a number.
Quite a
So
number.
let me just answer randomly. Can menopause happen at 28? It can, but there are lots of factors. You have to satisfy the criteria, more than 12 months cessation of the period. The question about and let me just quickly add about the other lady who was diagnosed of lupus. So if a woman is within the reproductive age and has missed their period, the first differential diagnosis is not menopause. You would rather think about pregnancy.
Okay.
And it can even happen that apart from pregnancy, once it's not up to 12 months, it could be just some hormonal imbalances. Right. So you are careful to diagnose menopause because remember, it is permanent and natural. So it's not going to reverse once that diagnosis has been made. Okay. The other question about andropause. I know I hear it a lot in our context, but there's no medical balance or medical literature confirming that. I can appreciate it. So we create the long talk and winding talk to, it's psychogenic and related to the aging, but there's nothing like andropause.
All right. So on that note, I want to say a very big thank you to you for making time for us. But there is this myth, or I don't know if I should use the word myth, that says that when women hit their menopausal stage, they become sexually active. How true is this?
So rather, generally, when women hit their menopausal age, their libido tends to decrease. However, research also shows that comparing African to white, Africans tend to have higher libido.
Dr. Ernest Opari, thank you so much for being here. We are super grateful. Please give him a big round of applause. I have learned so much today, I must say. And today, if you go out there and you know anybody who is experiencing menopause, you know what to do with the person. Have patience, and there's treatment with regards to the symptoms as well, which is the good news. And so if you know anybody going through the symptoms and the person is struggling, don't worry at all. Just take the person to the hospital. The person can be helped. Now, you know we have other conversations coming your way. And so don't go anywhere. Stay glued to your television set and make sure you send your messages to us as well. We'll be right back. To stay. You can dance. You're so good. You're really good. And thank you so much for honoring our invitation. You are doing so well. We looked on your page on social media and we said, wow, you're like the celebrity Gele stylist, eh? Thank you. Yeah. So how long have you been doing this?
It's been 5 years. This year is exactly 5 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
And see how God found you, bringing you on TV to teach us how to tie Gele. So how did it all start for you?
For me, it started when I had my third baby.
Okay.
Yes, currently I have 4 kids.
You have what?
4 kids.
This is what we say, You look good.
Thank you so much. So it started with, it started when I had my third baby. So the idea got into me to start Gele, and I fell in love with having to do Gele and send it out to anybody around the world without them, coming to you. That means you can wear a Gele without any stress. So I fell in love with that idea, and that was how the Gele Center started.
So for you, you do the Gele and package it. So if I get it, I just put it on my head and that's
Yes, please. Like the one on my head, it's an automated Gele. That means I will make it and just wear it myself. No stress, no pins, nothing. So it's very different from what we'll be learning today on the show.
Can we see how that one... so you don't... I don't know how it's working. How does it work?
So it goes through the sewing machine before we hand sew to create the style.
Okay.
Yes, and then when we hand sew, we can package it and send it to the client, and she can rock it at her own convenience without any stress.
There's somebody watching us and the person is wondering what seed money they need to start something like this, a business like this.
So for me, I would say 1,000 cedis. Why? Because you will need to learn how to make. Then you will start with, even if it's 2 or 3 showcase, but just start bringing it out there, especially on social media. You can do something. So you don't need to get a store. You can start from your home with at most 1,000 cedis.
1,000 cedis?
Yes. Your training fee is inclusive, and the fabric for you, everything you need is inside 1,000 cedis, and you can start up.
But do you train?
Yes, please, I do.
So it's like you have a school or something?
Yes, we have an academy.
That's nice.
Yes, please.
Wow, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Is it a lucrative business?
Yes. For 2024, for now, I would say yes, and forever yes, because every day people are getting married.
Okay.
And it's an accessory, so it's like an add-on on your outfit. So yes, it's a very lucrative business.
That's nice.
It's very, very lucrative.
Wow. So you're going to teach us how to tie Gele. There are different styles of Gele, right?
Yes, there are
Tell
different
us some of the styles.
Okay, there are different styles. There are styles you see most times. The brides go for the round style.
Okay.
Yes, it's ever trending. It's never, ever going to be out of vogue. And it doesn't choose a face type.
Okay.
For the round style. It can go for anybody. But you see some styles, double-sided fan. That one, you just say maybe some people with oval head shape can have that on, but I can recommend that to everyone as well, especially brides.
Double-sided fan.
Yes, this one is creating fans on both sides. You know, Gele is all about art.
Okay.
Yes, Gele is just art and
so
calculations.
So did you study visual arts in school or something?
No, funny enough, I didn't.
So how did you learn?
For me, as I said, I just loved the fact that we have to create something and make life easy for someone with Gele.
Okay.
So that was what I got, had passion for, so I had to take it up.
Or maybe you had like a grandmother or grandfather or a mother. Nobody in your family ties Gele?
Even on my wedding day, my Gele was really horrible. So it is not something I came with. It is something I just learned, and from there, constant practice.
Okay.
Constant practice. When I fail, I don't break down. I rather push through to make sure I achieve what I'm aiming to.
That's nice.
Thank you.
So there are different fabrics that you can use to tie Gele, right?
Yes, please.
What you have is called?
Today we have the ashoke.
Ashoke.
On our screen we have the silk, the raw silk.
Okay.
That's what I used on her head. We have even the duku, Ghana duku. You can use the Ghanaian duku to style on your head. So even the Ankara, most times I use GTP fabrics to style people as well. They bring it and then I create it into an auto Gele if they want. So any fabric. Yes.
I love your work already because I'm loving what I'm seeing on the screen. It's so pretty.
Thank you.
And so how long does it take to style a Gele?
Okay, for me, because I've been into it, I can say maximum of 10 to 15, like the bride on the screen. Yes, 10 to 15 minutes.
You're done.
Yes, but today's own is quite very simple for me, so it might be less than 5 minutes or 5 minutes on the dot. Because I work with events, so I want to use time, because, you know, they always give us time. Make sure you're ready before this so that the bride can also have a time. So I've learned how to work with time so that I don't get anyone disadvantaged, maybe the makeup artist or the hairstylist. So I work with time, so like that. And it's constant practice that has brought me.
We are very proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Seeing a young woman do this and making money out of it, not saying that there's no job in the system, but rather you've taken up upon yourself to make sure that you make an ends meet out of this. And you're not doing it just the regular way. You're even, you know, sending it abroad and all of that. You're doing well.
Thank you so much.
So if our model is ready and our model can join us so that you can actually do the Shola, I think today we should use Shola. Shola, come and let's tie the Gele on your head. Yes. Can we have a chair? Gentlemen, give Shola your chair. Yes. Please give Shola your chair.
I was doing my little model walk.
No, put it there. Okay.
Where?
So, yes. Is this place okay, please?
Yes, it's perfect.
No, let's face the camera.
Yes, please.
So this is fine?
Yes.
Please.
All right.
Wow.
So before I would start, I would share some tips.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so in terms of tying service, no matter the fabric you are holding, just know it is wholesome.
Okay.
That what I mean by wholesome, you would just say, okay, this fabric is 100. No matter, even if you are holding a 60 inches length fabric, just assume it is 100. And the reason why we have this calculation when we want to style a Gele is it determines the style you are going for.
Okay.
That means not every style has the same measurement in tying on the head.
Okay.
So for this tutorial today, I'll be styling the side fan. It's going to be a V-shaped side fan.
Okay.
Yes, and the side fan, the measurement, as I said earlier, is 100, right?
Okay.
So the measurement is going to be 45, 55. That means one side will be 45, one side will be 55. Doesn't mean the measurement for the fabric is 100.
Okay.
Yes,
All
so
right.
to create this style, one side will be 45, one side will be 55, and then we will take on.
Right, so let's start creating the magic on Shola's head. And so this is the ashoke,
yes,
and it's readily on the market?
Yes, we have weavers all the way from Nigeria who weave our ashoke.
But this looks like kente, so we can use
yes,
kente too, right?
It's the same way they weave kente that they weave the ashoke. You can even use kente to style on your head.
That's
yes,
nice.
so in case you want to have it to match outfit with your head, yes, you can bring in your kente.
Lovely.
So you know that half of my family is Nigerian, so this is not new to me.
Okay.
When we go for most of our funerals, for our weddings, we have a ashoke. That we use Yoruba.
But do you know how to tie it?
I don't though.
That's the thing.
That's the problem. So I know that after today, Mommy, I will tie a ashoke for you.
Okay, so I'm starting.
Yes, please start.
I will give you some.
Oh, please, you can even stand behind her if you want to. Yes, it's fine.
So we always request the client to take off their earrings because when you are styling, you have to cover the ear. After you finish styling, you can take the Gele off the ear to put back the earrings.
Okay.
Yes, and I would give you some little tutorials. So when I hold it, you just tap on it like this whenever I ask you to tap.
All right.
Thank you. So we are starting.
All right, so I hope you guys have your pens and your papers. I think I should move to come and stand a bit closer to you.
So
if you need help, I'm here for you to help you as we style the Gele.
All right. So currently, this is 50-50.
Okay.
The measurement of this ashoke is not 100,
Okay.
but we said anytime you're holding a fabric, it is wholesome, so it is over 100.
Okay.
So this is 50-50. So I'm going to measure out 45. My hand is small, so I'm using this side. But if your hand is large, you can use this side.
Okay.
So currently, I'm going to measure out 45 like this. This is 5 off, making it 45-55.
Okay.
So you see this side is smaller, and
Yeah.
then this side is longer, which made, 45-55.
Okay.
No matter the length of your fabric, this is 45-55. So I'll first of all pleat as I want before placing it on my client's head.
Okay.
So
you're pleating it?
Yes.
Right. And the pleating, is there a measurement to pleat, or you just
no.
pleat?
So once you know how to pleat, you just pick it and keep laying it on top of each other. Okay, so right now, place it on her head.
Okay. If you need my help, let me know.
Sure, sis. So sis, tap.
I should hold here?
No, she will hold.
Okay, you hold it.
Yes, she will hold.
Okay.
So tap very well.
Shala, this is prophetic. I think you're getting married very soon.
Oh,
you look so nice in this. Like, we are not done yet, but you're looking fabulous already.
Next 4 years.
Okay, no, it's not your time. I'm arranging the pleat.
Okay. Oh, wow. So even when you put it on the head, you still have to arrange the pleat.
Yes, we have to arrange the pleat so that everything will be in place. So she can hold behind the ear.
Okay.
So behind your ear, yes.
Okay.
All right.
So we need about 2 more minutes to go, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to take it easy so that people watching would learn something from us.
Oh, they are learning. Don't worry. Because of time, so we might have to fast track a little bit, but we are still learning. So I hope you have your pens and your papers and you're writing down every point. And also, as we stream live on Facebook, this process will be on Facebook, so you can still go on Facebook, and then you'll be repeating the process. As you practice it, you'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Should she hold this one too?
No.
Okay.
I'm coming over.
All right. Ooh. Are you guys learning? Leno, she's making a lot of money. So how much can you make in a day?
This is how God wants, honestly, because
so you can make like 10,000 a day.
Oh no.
Like 20,000.
No, it will be less.
Okay.
To be real, it will be less than 10,000.
Okay.
Yes, but during sales, I make like 15 to 20,000
a day.
No, in 3 days.
In 3 days?
Yes.
15,000. Where do you live? What?
Yes, because people tend to buy these auto ones, and like the people outside Ghana, they tend to buy it so that they can use it. Some people use it as souvenir.
Okay.
So maybe they have a guest of 100.
Right.
You know, they would like to share it to them in so long. So
15,000 in 3 days, and there are people working for like months, 10 months. They still haven't made that 15,000. God bless the work of your hands.
Amen.
So it means that this is a business that as a young person, you can actually go into it and make money.
Yes.
So out of this business, like, have you bought yourself a house, a car?
I've lived better. I've been able to live better. That is very important. I'm currently building, and I have a working store now, so I'm no more at home.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm able to do all this, so I'm very grateful.
Oh. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Now, today, every young person watching, you might not even be young, but you know, you are looking at a trade. This is a very lucrative business for you. And once we are done, record it. If you can record it right now, record it and practice it, because she says she kept practicing until she got perfect. And once you continue practicing, you get perfect. We have just about 2 minutes to finish tying this, and I can tell that we are almost done with it. Wow. And you train as well, which is a good thing. So if you are there and you also want to go through the training, maybe you are not good in picking up steps quick like myself, you can go to her and she'll train you.
Yes, please.
Wow.
Sorry.
So we're almost done. I like the fact that we are almost done. What? So you can do like 20 of these in a day and still feed your 4 children?
Yes. Yes.
Because you're done. Wow. Where are you located?
Pantine. We're on the
Okay.
Pantine Road.
Okay.
Yes, before the Pantine Hospital. You can put on Google Map the Gele Center and it will bring you to us.
Right. And if somebody wants to order, like, is there a number the person can call?
Yes, please. You can call 020-531-9430.
Mention it again, please.
020-531-9430.
And like you said, you have already made one, so even
Yes,
if the
please.
person can't tie, the person can purchase it
Yes,
and put
please.
it on their head,
Yes,
similar to
please.
what you are wearing.
Yes, please.
Wow. And are you on social media?
Yes, please. We're on Instagram, the
Okay.
Gele Center, the _Gele_Center.
Okay.
We're on Snap, we're on TikTok, the same name, the Gele Center.
Gele
We're on
Center.
Facebook as well.
Right. Wow. So are we done?
Yes, so I'm just doing the finishing.
So we are done. And Shola, you look amazing. The Gele Center, this is beautiful. Your number again, one more time.
020-531-9430.
Okay. Now take a look at this. We did this under 5 minutes, and this is lovely. Your work is just beautiful. She's on social media, the Gele Center. The Gele Center. You can actually contact her on there. Just send in your messages to her in her inbox, and she'll serve you. She said she does training as well. So thank you so much for being here, my darling.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we love. Just take a look at this under 5 minutes. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. All right, so on that note, I think it's time for me to tell the world that we are going on a quick break, okay? So, shall I get up and let them see your head? Let me see. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's lovely. It's lovely. You look lovely. I want us to take a break so I can take it off your head. The Gele Center, thank you so much for being here. Last thing you want to say before you go?
I would just say prayers also helped me to get to where I am today. Honestly, when I started, I didn't think I would be one day on Joy Prime. I'm very grateful for how far I have come, and I'm grateful to everyone who has purchased from the Gele Center, who has referred me, who in one way or the other has supported this business. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Oh, that's nice. On that note, we'll take a quick break. But before, the video is charged because of you. They are waiting for you. Hi. Hey. You know, they've always been dreaming of meeting you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you guys are happy to see her, right? Oh. You love her right now? Oh, wow. She loves you too. Who loves her the most?
We all love her.
Oh. Hey. Wow. What do you love about her the most? What makes you like her? Everything? Her consistency. Somebody says your consistency. Somebody else says what? Her the way she acts. Okay. The hips. The hips. Benedicta, how are you?
I'm good, yourself.
And it's good to have you here today.
Pleasure is all mine.
Yes, yes. You've been acting for a while now.
I know, right?
And these young ones think that you just got up and you started acting.
Oh, no, I started when I was 14.
Yeah. 14?
Yeah.
How did it all start?
I was in secondary school. Unfortunately for me, my uncle happened to be the accountant for Miracle Films. Oh, so every time I go to him, I'm like, can I start? So they'll be giving me some roles. I went and take my sister's wig.
Okay.
So I started quite early.
Quite early. Now, will you say that your background is like you're from a rich background or, you know?
No.
You're not from a rich background?
Can you No,
okay.
Please. I'm not from a rich background.
Okay.
Although, okay, when I started, I'm not going to say that my parents were rich or my family was rich. But right now, by God's grace, everything is fine.
Oh, that's
But it wasn't easy. So please, I'm not from a rich background. But yeah, Mobroni or
So you didn't start from a very rich background.
Oh, no,
Now, I want
not
us to
at
take
all.
a look at this video, though.
Okay.
Let's see this video.
Madam.
Baby! Oh, wow. So how did you deal with stardom at such a young age?
It was, I'm not going to lie, it was quite overwhelming. I was like, okay, growing up, I always felt like I'm doing what I like. I don't care. Then my mom would be complaining. I noticed that every little thing, somebody would take a screenshot of it and go and show it to my mom at the shop. Right. Then my mom would call me.
What was your mom selling at that time?
She's into cosmetic business.
Okay.
And that's what she still does.
Okay.
So she'll be calling me. She'll be like, Benedicta, why are you doing this? If you're then I'm like, who has been doing that? But then, anytime she complains like that, it really got to me. So I was like, okay, let me just listen. And I said, what at all am I doing? Sometimes I'll just post a harmless bikini picture.
Bikini picture is harmless?
I thought.
Okay.
At that time.
Okay. So you were just posting it.
Exactly.
Were you posting it for the hype?
No, I just felt like, I've gone to the beach. So let me just take a picture. I mean, I was in my early 20s. I think I was 19, 20, 21. Right. I was like, but today...
You don't do that?
No.
Why?
I don't know, but I think I've outgrown that stage.
Right.
Yes,
right.
I have. I just don't have the urge to do it anymore.
You know, some people start career very early, and so after a certain period in school, they decide not to go back to school because they're making the money. Was that the same for you?
No, it wasn't. Actually, when I told my mom, they didn't give me the go-ahead, the green light, okay, you can start acting. So for me, acting is not something that I'll say it was a right path that I said, this is what I want to be. Like growing up, I always had in mind that I'll become an air hostess or a lawyer
Okay.
So when I told my mom was like, no, the way people have been dying in that industry, I wouldn't want to bury my daughter, So they started giving me extra roles.
Okay.
Then I told my mom, when I completed secondary school, I couldn't get work because I wrote application like every little girl would. When we all complete secondary school, we want to do something to support our parents. And I wasn't getting the job. So I told my mom, they say when I do, they'll pay me small, so let me do it. Then she made me make her a promise that if she would give me the go-ahead to do it, I have to further my education.
All right.
So I told her that, okay, I promise. Then my elder brother too was there. He was like, you have to fulfill that. I said, I'll do it. But I think first year, second year, I started getting the fame and I was like, at the end of the day,
so
just like
enjoying the fame.
Exactly. I was like, I'm enjoying it. So what is school? But this is so embarrassing. Where did you guys get this picture? Because I've taken it off my page. Oh my goodness.
Is your body real though?
Yes, it is. I think I've even lost more weight now.
Okay. So you haven't been under the knife? You haven't done
Oh, no, I haven't.
BBL?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I think maybe... I don't have a problem with people who go under the knife.
Okay.
I don't. But I think I am still too young. I think I'm okay with my body.
Okay.
And I don't need to go under it now.
Okay.
But should there be a reason to go, I would.
You will.
Why not?
So one day you have BBL?
Never. It's one thing I've never thought of having.
What about liposuction?
Lipo?
One day.
Maybe when I give birth. And I feel like my tummy isn't like it is. But, looking at my mom doesn't really have tummy. My grandmom doesn't.
Okay. But if you should have...
If I should have, I will.
You will.
But if I don't, I wouldn't mind.
Have you had Botox on your face? Because I can see some little...
Okay, one thing about me is I take very good care of myself.
Okay.
Like, I take very good care of myself.
Right.
From my face to my skin to everything, I take very good. So, like, every month, I go to Dr. Feiruz. Like, every month, I'm like, can you give me some facial treatment? I go for some PRP where they drain your blood and use it all over your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every month?
Not every month. Like, on days that, there are certain months that you stress a lot.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, my face looks too tired.
Go get it.
Then I'll be
No
like,
wonder you look so pretty.
I think It's God-given.
It's God-given. Eh? How do you handle, rumors about you? Because all these things people say about you, some of them we know that they are all lies. How do you handle it?
Even sometimes when I hear certain things about me, I'm like, eh? I'm like, did I really do that? Or do I have a twin out there somewhere? But this is what I'll say. I think growing up, what has helped me a lot is I've had adults around me all my life.
Okay.
Like I've had adults advising me, adults like teaching me that don't do this, don't pay attention to this. So sometimes it will surprise you that there are certain rumors that I do not even hear.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I do not even, maybe like after the rumor have passed, then maybe I'll go somewhere, then the person will be like, recently, they'll be like, eh? Then I'll be like, you don't know? Like, what are you talking about? They'll be like, I don't know. Then
What's the worst you've heard?
I think it's a lot. So I've even forgotten. And I'm so glad I've forgotten about everything.
Oh, wow.
Honestly.
That's good to know. That's really good. So what about, let me ask about Zylofon.
Yes.
When they signed you and they got cancelled, what happened to...
Okay, I think my contract with them got expired.
Okay.
Yeah, it got expired. I think it was 3 years.
It was 3 years?
Yes. So
but you got a car out of it?
Yes,
and
we all did.
Did they take the car back or you kept the car?
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. You don't want to answer it.
Yes.
Why? But if you kept the car, there's nothing wrong with it. It just encourages the young ones out there to go look for money.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. On that note, she pleads the fifth. She doesn't want to answer that. What do you want to answer then? What do you want to answer?
The questions you asked me.
The other ones. But do you have beef with anybody like in the industry? No.
I mean, I personally think I'm not a dramatic person. I'm not somebody who loves drama. I love to be in my space. So if there's somebody out there that has beef with me, then I have no idea. But to me, no.
And you were in the Kumawood industry. You
Yes.
came to Gollywood.
Yes.
What informed that transformation?
I would say I had a vision. Like right from when I started, when I started Kumawood, just as I said that, it's not something I intended to take as a real business. I went back to school. I studied marketing. Then I was like, okay, so it means I can make something good out of it. Wow. And again, the reason why I went back to school was because I noticed that I sat down, most times I'll sit down and I'll be like, why are the Nigerians going forward? Why are they doing so well? Then I noticed like over 80% of their people are educated. So it means they think accordingly. Wow. And it's so exciting when you sit down having intellectual conversations with somebody, when it's not all about comedy and all that.
Yeah.
You understand? So I was like, okay, so what is wrong with our industry? And I said, okay, if I really don't want to be stuck here, then it means I have to upgrade myself. And how do I upgrade myself? I have to go to school. So I placed this whole movie shooting thing on hold for 4 years and I went back to school.
Okay.
And I schooled in Accra, so that was how I started.
Oh, that's how the Gollywood thing started. But are you back in Kumawood now?
I shoot Kumawood, I shoot Gollywood.
Okay.
I just finished shooting in Nigeria recently.
Wow, congratulations.
So I'm a proud Kumawood girl.
All right. Born and bred in Kumasi.
In Kumasi, proud Asafo girl.
That's nice. I love the fact that you are very proud of where you hail
because
from.
I mean, Kumasi, they made me, and I'm so proud of them. They've supported
So
me.
are you an Ashanti?
Yes, I am. I'm from a foot soldier.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the name Gafah,
Yeah.
is it an Ashanti name?
No, it's not. But that's a conversation for another day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Are you pleading the fifth on that one too?
That's a conversation for another day.
That's what it is. Really? All right. So I just want us to take a look at another video. Is that okay?
There you go.
All right. So let's take a look at this video as well.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Baba. Wait, Atago. Yes. Wait, you can stay in the room for 6 years. But she has to pay like
Baby, sorry, let's go to
Oh my goodness. And you know, we are watching these videos that you do. How many movies have you featured in?
I've lost count, honestly.
Really?
Yes.
More than 200, I'm guessing.
Because I started at 14.
So how much do they pay you for a movie now? Like, what's your worth for a movie?
I can't say that.
You can't say, but maybe there's a potential, producer watching.
Okay,
you.
I don't. When it comes to.
So what about the range? The range.
I don't discuss that. My manager is in charge.
Your manager. It looks like you wear only designer. So are you rich?
Rosalind.
You wear only designer?
I mean, I wear everything that suits me.
So it's not just designer clothes that you wear? Okay.
Anything that works for me, I wear it.
Okay. So my studio audience actually said they have some questions.
Okay.
And so who should I start with? Okay, I'll start with you, my darling. They say ladies first. So, darling, ask your question.
Hi, Rosalind.
Hi.
Hi, Benedicta.
Hi.
I'm a fan.
I'm humbled.
My question is, how do you envision the Kumawood industry 5 years from now or 10 years from now? As you said, you went back to school to upgrade yourself.
Yeah.
What are the factors that you would say that is actually, draining the Kumawood from moving forward? Would you say, like, education is one key factor? And what advice do you give to those who are already in the movie industry, especially in the Kumawood phase?
All right, thank you.
Okay, so thanks so much for the question. First of all, I'd like to say that, yes, education is important, but education is not everything. I mean, there are people who are doing things that are not educated, but you have to have the experience. As a human being, as you are growing up, I believe that as you were a baby, you grew to be 10, in your teens, 20, and all that. So as you are growing, I feel you should have a vision for yourself. If you watch back in the days, Kumawood, sometimes they'll be you can be watching the movies and you notice that somebody's head is here and you not see the leg. You see the leg and you not see the head. Sometimes you see that, in this scene, the person had a bow tie.
Yeah.
But in the close-up, there's no bow tie.
Continuity, yeah?
Continuity mistakes. A lot of technique. Sometimes, even when you have the technical eye, you realize that, this lighting is terrible. This angle wasn't it. What kind of camera did they use? But right now, I always say that thanks to DSTV, right now, if you pay attention to a lot of the local content, they are doing so well. Because when, let's say, DSTV gives you a project to shoot, it means you are not only competing against your people in the Kumawood industry, in the Kumawood clique. And neither are you competing only Ghanaians, among only Ghanaians, but you are competing among other African countries. And if it's not up to that standard, they are not taking it. Let's say, imagine shooting a movie for DSTV and you're competing for South Africans. With South Africans, you are competing with Nigerians, and we all know how good they are when it comes to all these things. So I feel like DSTV has really come to change the game and all. And again, I think the people in the Kumawood industry, I just think that it's just a phase, Sometimes you just get to the level, and again, it depends on how you were raised. You just get to the level whereby you feel like, let me do everything for clout.
And so what about you? Did you do things for clout at a point?
No.
You didn't?
That's what I'm saying.
There's no pressure on you?
No.
Are you married, though?
No, I've never been married.
You've never been married?
No.
Do you have children?
No, I don't.
Okay. But are you dating?
Should I answer her?
There are people who are interested.
I'm not single.
You're not single?
No.
No, a beautiful girl like you. Are you getting married soon?
Like that.
I'll let you know.
Okay. So we'll have a wedding invite if the marriage is going to happen.
Yes.
Yes. And talking about DSTV, you have a project with DSTV?
Yes, I'm Wenima. Have you guys seen it? Yes. Are you guys, what do you think about it? I want one of you to answer me.
Please take the microphone.
It was actually yesterday that I saw a short video that you posted on your page. You were sitting on a chair. It was just a short video.
Okay.
But then I wasn't really expecting that I would meet you today. I'm really happy and I can't wait to watch it. Yes.
Oh, okay. So please. Okay. So Amwenima is showing every Mondays to Fridays on DSTV, Aquaba Magic, 8 p.m. And I tell you, a lot has gone into this project. Myself, I'm tired. This morning, I had to come all the way from Koforidua to this place just because of you. From here, I'm going.
Oh, wow. To
Yes,
go shoot?
I'm going back to Koforidua. I came because of you guys.
Is this your own project or you are?
It's for DSTV.
It's for DSTV. But you're doing so well.
Thank you.
So I want us to take a look at is
Amwenima.
Amwenima. I want you to take a look at it. Let's take a look at the trailer of it. It's really nice, I must say.
What's it? Let me cast a wand.
Huh? Wow, wow. Deserves a round of applause, guys. That's a beautiful one. The production is solid.
Yes, it is.
Tell us a bit about it.
Amwenima is actually a story about a goddess who was in the other realm.
Oh, right.
She was so sweet. You know, we all grew up so sweet. We feel like there's no evil in the world until you start getting certain benefits or certain opportunities. Then you realize that, this person wants to kill me for what I have. So you have to defend yourself. And so she became very wicked. Amwenima became very, very wicked, and she had to be brought back to earth. I can't tell you everything, because if I tell you everything, I'll just spoil the movie.
That's interesting. So she was in the realm and was brought back to earth.
Yes, she was put to sleep for over 500 years.
I'm guessing you're Amwenima.
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. She looks like it, right?
Oh, no. I know. I'm not wicked.
No, you are not wicked.
Yeah, but Amwenima is.
Yes. She is wicked.
Yes.
Wow. I think that, so you said when does it air?
It airs every evening at 8 p.m. On DSTV, Aquaba Magic.
Yeah. We hear there's a lot of juju in the industry, Kumawood industry. Is this true?
That's an interesting question. I would say that I feel like these kind of things, it happens everywhere.
Has it happened to you?
Personally, no.
Okay. Yeah. So personally, she says no. Now, you know what we're going to do right now? We're going to play a game with you, though. And so you and I are going to compete each other.
Oh, wow.
I didn't want to do this, though, because we have, professionals in the house that can do it. But they are saying that I should do it with you. I don't know why they say I should do it with you. Like, ping pong, and I'm supposed to do this. I'm going to be playing the game with you.
How does it work?
All right, so let's go closer.
Okay.
So we're just going to be standing here. So we're going to be playing this game very soon. I'm going to try, though. I'm not that good in games because I don't like to lose. But because of you, I'm playing the game today.
Okay.
So you and I are going to be flipping this thing, okay? Now, we're going to try and flip it into the cup. Yeah. Yeah.
How is that possible?
So I don't know how that is possible, but it has to be possible.
So the cup has to turn?
We have to flip it.
So I'll use my hand?
Wait, you use your hand as in?
As in I'll do this?
No. You do this, you toss it, and you flip it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
No, that's not part of it.
That's not part of it.
No.
Hey, now boy.
Let's start.
All right, so we are going to start. So I think you should stand here, and I'll stand here.
Okay.
All right, so we are all going to start from here. Let me put this here. And then we are going to be playing the game. So Benedicta and myself, guys, you need to cheer us on. Yeah. All right, so who are you supporting, myself or Benedicta? My fans, let me hear you. Let me hear my fans. Who are my fans? They are supporting the leader. People come and meet me here. All right, so we are playing. So Benedicta, yourself and myself, ready, go. Woo! I'm not even. Benedicta is with. Benedicta won! That was good. All right, so this is the game for today. You've done so well.
Thank you.
Benedicta did so well. Clap for her again. So quickly, we'll take just about 2 or 3 social media messages, and then we can wrap up. So what do we have, Shola?
I always tell you, when actors come here, I like to show, my talent, because I'm also an actor in the other realms. I'm an actress in another world, you know. So, Benedicta, when we finish, let's link up.
Okay.
I may be, it's also a day, you know. I'm a rapper as well. So social media really is commenting. This one says that Gafah is looking pretty. She likes laughing, and smiles. Lovely, keep it up. Much love. This one says that she's the real Obroniba. Benedicta de B. This is Ben from KJTR. This one says that Benedicta is so sweet. There is more. This one says that she is really my crush. Yo. Says that Rosalind, it is how all the fine ladies and gentlemen always appear on changes for me. This is Kinsley from Dome. This one says that Benedicta is really my fave. Keep the good work going. This is Jemima from Kaswa. This one says, I really love her movies. That she turn English scripts into Tree herself because she makes Kumawood movies very much fun to watch. My love.
Thank you.
Roro, you can see that obviously people love you. I personally do. I admire you a lot. So it's beautiful to see that social media is commenting, and you know we are still going to be linking up for my acting career. As always.
Don't worry.
But yes, Rosalie, before I come back to you, let me say a very big thank you to Myra Closet International for my outfit. I think I look beautiful, don't I? Yeah. So,
DJ Bredash, any questions for Benedicta? Bredash, any questions for Benedicta?
I think, you'll ask you that question often. Because when I ask that question, it will bring problems. So I'll ask her that question.
Okay.
Why you know her personally?
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I'm considering you today.
Yes, consider.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
off
Thank
air.
you. Keep on doing that when it comes to me.
Are you voting this year, though?
Yes. I would be voting. And I'll urge you all to vote because that's what makes you a great citizen. Go and vote. I'm not part, please. Just vote for who you like, please. Sorry? Vote for who you are comfortable with, who you think can rule the country.
All right, so on that, you people, you are bad.
Very bad.
Let me tell you that. Anyway, so this is all time of permission. Benedicta, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And before you go, what do you want to ask? We don't have time. You ask her behind the scenes. Don't worry at all. So thank you so much. Bredash, what song are you playing for us?
Catch me on the Joy Prime at 10 p.m. tonight when I bring you the Hot Picture Wednesday edition. So at 10 p.m. live.
DJ Bredash, let's do a snap before we end.
Yes. Where's my phone? I need my phone.
We need to do a snap.
Thank you.
Her phone. Yes, please.
Yes.
The phone is fine.
We have
So we're going to do a snap. But thank you so much for sticking and staying with us on Changes this afternoon. My name is Rosalind Felly. I didn't do this alone. I think we should stand, Benedicta. Let's stand and do the snap. So come and join. Come. Let's do the snap together. Guys,